Welcome to NBA 2K24 and our new custom season. Building off the success of last time, we are back, hopefully even better than ever. I have a lot of things built into this that we're going to reveal not only to you, but also to our fellow players on the team. I'm going to start by showing them the team, so I'm going to share this with them out there.
We overcame the most adversity. The diversity is good. The adversity is what we overcame.
Yeah, us four white people. A lot of diversity here.
Yeah, we overcame the diversity by having all white people.
Yeah, no, we overcame the most adversity we've ever faced in the NBA game. It was a lot. It almost broke all of us, and especially Cody.
It did break me. I don't think it almost broke me. I think it did break me.
But we
It broke. Losing 3 games broke me, and then I was reborn into Game 7 because then I played well.
Mhm.
After I had already died.
And this
Under
season is
my
going to mean new rivals, new people we can curb stomp. Like last time we had the Hawks and then unfortunately the Suns that we could just beat the hell out of. Don't even know what's necessarily in store for this. This is not like mega different. It's like 75% the same as last time because last time worked well and we wanted to run the formula back. So instead of being like we had 2 Suns in the league that time because we were the Suns, but there was also the Suns, the all-time Suns. We are taking a page from one that we did off air. We've never been this team on one of the recordings, but we are now. We were one of multiple expansion teams, and we are in Honolulu.
Does he
Oh
not
my
know
God.
that we don't have a
I
screen
didn't
yet?
know if he was waiting to reveal. We do have a blank screen, Chris, just so you know.
What about now?
So like we have. No,
No.
so we see the windows of us, but we're not there. And then
I
the
don't even see
screen.
that.
Well, now it's just blank.
Oh, you added the Twitter and the Facebook.
That is cool.
That's
yes.
That was the reveal, right?
You can't see this?
No,
good. No.
It's maroon and
it
black.
is a very nice shade of maroon.
It's a really good color.
It is really
What the
nice.
Yeah.
fuck?
And if this was the reveal, I would say I'm pretty happy. But it sounds like it's not.
So you're saying that this maroon is not going to be put into the gray area's red
I thought
circle
maybe
color.
this was our logo color.
So you see the
I was-
maroon. You see a giant maroon box.
Yes.
No,
Yep.
well, the background
and
is
then 4 black
maroon,
boxes.
I should say.
We see the bottom line with the now playing
the
Super League
fuck?
and all that.
Yep.
And then I see 4 black squares.
We're not in the black squares
So,
where we normally
remember we were talking
would
about. Remember we were talking about diversity. Now we have 4 black squares with 4 white guys. So there you go. We
be.
nailed
There
it.
you go.
We did it, guys.
Oh, okay. I think I might have a reason. Hold on, because Dave, you can see it, right?
Nope. I see the same thing they do.
What? It's the same thing we do every fucking Tuesday.
Well, you tried to build the anticipation, and the anticipation was like, wait.
I
I'm not
do-
done building yet.
Now I will say the name.
How about that? Not for you guys, for Dave.
Oh,
Nope. Same thing.
Super
Nothing's
League's a very
changed.
cool name though.
Oh, it's theirs.
It's there now.
Yes, we are.
And we're there too. So it's
Ooh.
all here.
Wait, what a
Me-
better
not me.
Honolulu logo.
We're a
Not me.
Honolulu Hanu.
Well, we're the Hawaii Honolulu Hanu.
What about that?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, we're all good now.
Flash.
We
flashed.
yeah, we're still there now.
I know.
Nope, I'm
okay,
not
just trying to get it for Dave.
Dave,
no
I can fucking see
clue.
you. You can see it.
I can't.
Well, you should.
Oh.
No,
Oh, weird, Chris. When you're scrolling, it's showing up on Dave's screen.
I'm not surprised.
Oh.
Aha. Hello. I can see
And we
things.
can still see it, except now
Sean's-
Dave is covered.
Purple shirt eating gray shit.
There.
Look at how
Yeah,
nasty
now
that
we're
looks. Look at how nasty it is.
All right. What
It is the color of the Kings logo on my shirt, and he's putting it in his body.
All right.
my
Whatever the
God.
fuck OBS has done. There's our team. They can see it now. You've been able to see it the whole time, dear viewer, but they can finally see.
Our power rank is only 3, despite we won the title last year. Although I guess we didn't
Oh,
for a new team.
So we had the big turtle logo, and we were like that green, dark green and light green. This logo is actually a pretty cool logo.
And it goes with our
Yeah.
team colors as well. However, the turtle is still a secondary logo, so it's on the court. It's cool.
Good. That's a good touch.
Yeah.
It really does look like it's a surf brand,
Yeah.
company, which is very fitting. For
Actually,
the
you
team out
can actually see the turtle there. He's on the sides.
Yeah.
Of the,
Mhm.
Two
he's
turtles.
tiny, but
So what's the story? How did we get on an expansion team that's in Hawaii?
And why
Well-
are there 6 expansion teams?
yeah, that's going to be the question. You'll see what the other teams are, and then maybe you can make the story from there. Because I don't know. I don't know how it is that with this team that was the Suns is not the Suns. Because some of our players are back. What does that mean? Well, let's look at our roster, and then we'll go from there,
Well,
right?
to be fair, there were 2 Suns in the previous existence, so the league was like, "Well, this is confusing.
Mhm.
We can't
Can't
have
have this
this."
happen.
right. And there's
Oh my
definitely
God,
and because we won the title, they told the team, You can pick anywhere in the country to move to and be a team.
Oh,
And-
maybe that's it.
And we chose Hawaii.
And
Well, I
and,
would.
And during that time, I gained 85 pounds. Apparently,
You did age up quite a bit.
age up and just kind of let myself go a bit. I think.
It's probably not great that this looks more like you than the previous one did. This is
Yeah,
what happens when you eat gray shit. This
That's
is what you
right.
turn into.
You've eaten too much concrete. You have
All
to
the-
stop.
All the concrete's going to your cheeks, okay?
That is a round face. My
So-
God,
Shaun is still the point guard because he enjoyed being the point guard.
I did.
And there's not a whole lot else that's different. He's still sort of a
Hey, you
Steve
went to
Nash
Northern
type,
Arizona.
I like that. That's cute.
more athleticism.
You were undrafted, unsurprisingly, out of Northern Arizona.
Our shooting guard,
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Finally,
Oh, yeah.
you get to have colors. How
Oh,
did you?
boy.
How is that just an option now?
yes.
Wow.
And that's one particular type of stubble that is just horrible no matter what color it is.
How did
That-
you? Do you know,
That hair is pristine.
do you
That
know
is
how
an
meticulous
amazing
you have to be
hairstyle.
to dye your stubble? That you're in there maybe like twice a day, just dyeing the stubble.
I feel like I show up and I stare into the mirror like the putting on clown makeup from the Joker movie.
Pretty much. If I could have made your face white, I would have. I mean, it's as white as can be.
That's amazing.
I thought you would
truly
like this,
go.
but I was also prepared to change it if you were like, ew.
No, I don't give a shit.
So you led the league in scoring or some shit, and then you decided you're kind of like Rodman, where you're like, fuck
Yeah.
it, I'm gonna do whatever I want.
Look, so the way I look at it is I look like a clown to represent that I believe everybody else in the league is clowns.
That's
my logic.
That makes a lot of sense.
It
Right.
does, right?
Because we live in a society.
You
Yes.
remind me of that boxer who like trolls everybody.
Jake Paul.
Whitaker. Have you seen him? He's just like out there dancing, and then you like want to punch his lights out, and he's like you can't hit him.
Isn't that Floyd Mayweather?
No.
I mean, Floyd Mayweather did do that.
He did, but he didn't taunt people while he was doing it.
Okay. Anyways,
This is not a boxing podcast.
I'm beautiful.
Okay, I'm glad you
I
like
love
it.
that you sent me to Chico State. That person definitely went to Chico State.
Yeah, I thought you might like Cal State Chico. It popped out as funny to me, and I'm like, well, everything
It-
else about this is
It was
clown,
on my
so-
list of schools considering when I actually was going to college, as amazing as that is. So.
Interesting. And why is Cody a 98 instead of a 99 for the viewers? Because we've told him this to his face. Because he doesn't play basketball.
True.
So,
and you know what? Because he refuses to play basketball.
yes,
If he tried or was open to it, we'd maybe reconsider.
we might think about it.
But we said we would drag him, and he said, "Not over my dead body." He would fight us.
Yep.
So
Small
98.
forward.
Now I'm a 98 clown.
Small forward's a point of contention. We have had multiple different people filling our last position for a while now with the four of us. Going back to the old days, it was the three of us, and we had folks like Oliver Miller playing center once I took over point guard. We had Howie Mandel at one point playing a guard position, sometimes point. Jason was in there for a while. He even played with us once or twice. I had forgotten about that until I went back and watched some old videos. But I went with something. This team is sort of meant to represent an amalgamation of everything that's come before it. So we have things from all over the place. And our small forward is this gentleman,
That makes
wow,
sense, but he grew
interesting.
Up. Wow.
who has grown because I just could not stomach a 5'4" small forward. I couldn't do it.
Bad enough when he was a 2-guard.
I even tried it in some testing. It was horrible, god awful. And since everybody kind of wanted to stay in their positions, I didn't have much of a choice. And it's like, okay, we've done Devin Booker, which was fine. We've done Chuck. We did Jaylen Brown in one of the off-air ones. We've done a bunch of different players to sort of fit the needs that we had. I decided the hell with it. Let's just double down on the fact that we're going to space the floor out and just shoot a ton of threes.
I thought you were gonna pull an Animorphs where like you blended the DNA of all of the different small forwards that we've had. But maybe you did, and that's how Tron was made.
I do notice that you very specifically made him an A+ on perimeter defense. The only thing he should actually be doing.
Correct. He needed to be a strong defender because that was not always his, it wasn't really a strong point at all. It was basically his absolute weakness, other than being in the post where he got absolutely abused. Here, he's going to be a 3-and-D guy,
I like
maybe
the
an extreme
idea
one.
that like he was with us before, and almost like an Isaiah Thomas situation. Like he came back, he was out of the league for a while, and he really worked on his game and shored up what he needed to.
He's playing in South Korea.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
now we give him another chance.
Which is where he was back in the day, too. So a lot of the lore has carried over for him. The mustache is not a good version of it. There is no good version of it. It's supposed to be a much brighter blonde, like Hulk Hogan style one. This is the closest I could get. It's awful, but that's what we have. So small forward. Power forward is me. I look shocked.
Yeah, surprised.
You look
I
like
don't know
David
what-
Schwimmer.
I have no idea what dictates the face because for a long time I was cheesing like a motherfucker, just a big old grin. I never really changed anything, and now I look distraught. I have no idea why.
Like a sad surprise.
Yeah,
Like you walked in on your wife and someone else or something.
and
to
maybe
that
I did.
level.
Maybe that's why we went to Hawaii to get away from it all.
You had a proctology exam, I think is what it really looks like.
Yeah. You know what I think, Chris? You left the team. Either they didn't sign you or you left because of all this stuff, so you're sad. And we were like, you know what? We're not playing without Chris. So we all joined Honolulu as well.
That's nice
Package
of you.
deal.
Yeah, we took less money to all play together.
I didn't take less money.
And Matt Ishbia was like, if you do this, I'm going to fucking destroy you. And we said, sorry, Matt. And now we're in Hawaii. Who's the owner of Hawaii?
There is somebody, I don't remember who. We can go look.
Okay.
They made somebody up, just like some of the coaches. Like we have a made up head coach too, because we're not a real team.
How dare you say that?
Hey,
Our
we're
first-
real in my mind.
Yeah, well, this is going to be as real as it
It's
gets.
real to me.
'cause-
Damn
so
it.
forgot to say, by the way, Cody is a De'Aaron Fox base with some changes. I am a Kevin Durant base with some changes. This is the same as last year, so we're gonna look similar when we play.
You know what? I missed Cody's personality.
What person?
Expressive.
Yes, expressive. Look at
I'm
my
neutral.
face.
You know what? I like being neutral. Cody, I swatted the fucking shit out of somebody the other day, and I didn't do anything. This is the best way to
That's
do it. You just
boring.
got to play it. I know. Well,
Yeah.
that's how
Whereas
you
I
gotta-
have to be laid back
Yeah.
because I can get a little into it with sports, especially team sports, but also like I've had like aces or big throw-ins in tournaments, won tournaments, and I'm like, cool.
Yep.
I'm not like, yeah, in your face, motherfucker. I'm just like, yeah, cool, sick. I did a thing. So it seemed like it was correct. Our first tiny bit of disappointing news is coming up now, which makes Dave nervous.
Oh, no.
It's just
Oh.
that 23 wasn't available. It's
It looks
retired
more
on
like
this
me.
team that I made out of this franchise. So
Ah.
if there's another number you would like, we can look at it. But 23 is not here. But here's Dave.
You also got
Thicker.
fatter, and Botox apparently.
Well, and I got a dye job on one side of my beard, I think.
You also
Yeah.
you did do that.
The beards look terrible. There's really no two ways about
It
it.
looked like you were trying to get away from blonde, and
I can't
you
figure
ran
out
of
why-
dye halfway through.
You had
Why
like
is half
just
my
for
beard
men,
dark?
and the carton ran out.
Now, as always, it looks better in the in-game models than the portraits. The portraits are always a bastardization, but I'm not going to pretend like it didn't make your face fatter. That
Yeah.
happened.
I mean, I've been eating a lot. It's true. If I get to Hawaii, I'm gonna eat a lot more fish,
Yeah,
which is
look,
fattening.
we won the title. We followed Chris to Hawaii, and we just kind of
I
let go.
I love the touch of Dave being 8 years pro at 22, while the rest of us were like in year 1 or 2 at
Yeah,
the same age.
that's not that one in
So
there.
Dave was 14 years old in the NBA.
I'm a child prodigy.
Yeah, he's precocious. He's also been a little bit taller now. I think he was 6'6" or 6'7" last year and a little bit heavier just to give him some ability to bang a little more.
Well, all the heavy went to his face.
Well, we see the heavy.
so
That much is clear.
Dave, video game Dave, has been on your gray cement diet, and he's really not happy about it.
Yeah, well, it helped him grow though. See, I didn't grow. He grew. He grew up and sideways.
You aged.
I just aged. I just say, yeah.
Really, look at that hair. I mean, damn, that's some
I mean,
good
it's
hair.
a good, but you had good head hair before.
I mean, I still do. Really.
No, I'm saying your character.
in the game.
Oh, right. The game. Yeah,
It doesn't look
Yeah.
like you in real life unless you start dyeing half of your face.
I'll get on it.
Now, the league
33,
is similar
that's
to
not
last time in that there are no backups, but they're not playing unless you fuck up and get in foul trouble.
Dave.
So that still exists.
Cody.
I'm insulted, Shaun.
Everybody could kind of do it, to be fair. We've all had games where it's happened, but it did seem like it was maybe
I
more
feel
often
like
those two.
Sean never did.
I've never done it for
for
the record.
No, he has not, because usually he gets himself in trouble in like the third quarter, and by
Yeah.
then they don't care anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is. Yeah.
He usually starts going for more steals as they bring the ball up, and then he gets his fourth in the third quarter. He's like, fine.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. All right, I'll stop.
Okay.
I had to go for it.
So, in the off chance that it matters, let's take a look at our bench. First of all, here is my backup.
Good.
It's a blast from the past. Could his head look rounder? No, I tried.
Although that looks like facially, that looks like my character.
Kind of.
Okay,
So
I'm not crazy.
he also went undrafted at Ohio. So you guys were just college teammates at Hawaii together.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't at Hawaii. What do you mean?
Chris was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were friends. That's why we all recruited you to come here because we
Yeah.
were from here and we're like, it's the island life, man.
Is
Way
like
back.
Oliver Miller Jr. or is this like the Oliver Miller?
Who knows?
Okay.
I did the idea of putting his name the Oliver Miller.
Yeah,
Because he's
yeah.
not nearly as big as his predecessors, I guess I'll think of him as a junior.
Okay, that's fair.
Because he's 350 pounds, he does not really look like it.
Holy cow.
So he had
Fall
to be
to
the
the
heaviest
floor.
player on the team because he's Oliver Miller.
All right.
So there's one of our blasts from the past. Another one is this is new. This is
Love me
Dave's
sexy.
backup.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Is
Now,
that-
you might be thinking to yourself, like, well, how are these people going to play? They're identical to your main player. Everything down to their shot releases, their shot heat charts, like everything is identical, just scaled down. They're not as good.
is this the guy from Semi Pro?
Yeah, let me
Yes.
sexy.
Okay.
It's the worst looking Will Ferrell you've ever seen.
Okay.
ELE. Everybody love everybody. Come on.
Mhm.
We should have watched that the other day.
This is Shaun's backup.
Nice.
Oh, God
Now-
damn it.
Nice.
You might be thinking to yourself, doesn't look aged enough. You're right, because if I take the Kyrie template, I'm not allowed to tweak it in any way. So this is what we have.
It was just
But-
Kyrie, basically.
But so now you took, but this is even though you took his template, this is still Cody's.
Correct.
Pl-
This is
okay.
this is your
Your.
this is Steve Nash's release. This
Point guard.
is
Point guard, not Cody.
Oh, it's me.
That's
It's
you.
me. Sorry.
Sean's
Okay.
backup,
Okay.
not
so it
Cody's
has
backup.
the same
Gotcha.
Nash mechanics and all that jazz. It just looks like Kyrie.
All right.
This is Cody's backup. Now, this might cause some issues. But if Cody wants to get himself into foul trouble to try and abuse this system, I guess he can do that. It's his own fucking stats he'll be tanking. So it's up to him to decide if he really wants to see how exploitative this is.
I like how he's back. He was like an assistant coach for a while, and now
he
he's
was
like,
on the end of the roster. He was there.
I know, but he
played.
was like serving as like the assistant coach and player coach,
He also went to Chico State.
and he also got a lot older.
So yes, this
He
is a
does
7'7" shooting guard.
Why does he have no eyebrows?
I took them away. They're there, but they're faint. He's got all sorts of he actually looks worse than this portrait. Believe
Cody,
it or not.
that looks like.
I
a
really want to
disguise.
see a 7'7" guy.
Do you think
but
I
with your
won't get two
moves.
fouls in the first quarter at some point?
But I want you to like immediately like 2 take fouls and then
I
And-
will. Given that we're gonna play like 40 games, I will wait on that.
this makes me happy.
Finally,
Yep.
this had to happen.
Black
Now
and
again,
pass,
small
man.
small forward. Well, emphasis on small. He's 6'3", and he really shouldn't be. He's like 5'9", I think, in real life or something. But I sized him up just like Tron so that they could be each other's counterparts. If Tron ever gets in foul trouble, we will see Howie Mandel. And I thought it would be fun to remind people, or for people who haven't seen this before, just to show you what Howie Mandel was all about. Now, I hope Dave has sound on
Oh, good.
this,
Good,
but
good.
there
I
are
was actually
two.
going to tell this story.
There are two key moments to me. First of all, look how awful this game looks in comparison.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is 10 years ago. This is 11 years ago now. Good
This is
Lord.
2K13, and I
That's
don't even
2K13.
think.
Looks like 2K like 06.
Yeah, it's a little rough now.
Fuck.
You think our players look heavy now? Look at like Shaun here. And he's not even that heavy. He's relatively thin, but
I don't even have a face in this picture. Like, I'm just a blur.
so here I have 2 clips prepared. Hopefully Dave has sound.
I don't know. Nope, but it's all right. What offense? Perfect. Perfect.
So he got off to a rough start. That was our first game. That was our first impression of Howie Mandel. The first game we ever played at 2K for the channel, and that's the start he gets off to by airballing a 3 with his old man wreck form.
And it's probably not an accident that the very first clip you pulled up took 5 seconds for me to insult Dave.
Yes,
You were mid insult, actually.
I know
Exactly.
this clip.
it happened
I've
a lot
seen
back
this clip.
then. But then over time, this was like game 8 or 9. Over time, he redeemed himself.
Oh, I remember this so
I like
well.
my fucking
It's been 11 years, and I remember this so well.
He never even got close to dunking Cody, and then he dunks through someone.
With the facial expression, too.
Put your ones.
So Howie Mandel is back. we're happy to have him. How much we're going to see him, I don't know. I guess it depends on how much foul trouble we see from that position.
Yeah,
but-
how is that possible? They don't even foul. They don't even play defense. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was a clunkier game back then, but those animations looked weird, but he rocked it.
See,
So
here's the problem: is like those are funnier clips, but it's also more fun to play now.
Yes.
Like to just play our people the whole game.
Extremely.
So like,
So you get to split the difference here. There could be some moments this year if somebody gets in foul trouble. And again, feels like every other game, somebody ends up getting their ass thrown out because they have like 3 in the first half.
So you stole the team name and logo, right? You didn't create this yourself?
Yes, that was part of why I went with a pre-made one because we once had the Flagstaff buzzers, as you saw in that clip. That made more sense when we were at the buzzer. We had like a Hornet and all that jazz. You know, we were the Toon Squad at one point. We had the jerseys that were like stars and purple with the logo from Space Jam. We were the Arizona Souls at one point. I'd forgotten this, but there was one season we were Bros Baskets Bamberg.
Oh my
were-
god, that was
Yeah,
like
because it was a funny
2K16.
sounding name. So we were from Germany. So this is new for us, but I thought this is kind of I just like the color scheme, the logo, and we'll see the unis here. Well, you can see the road unis here.
I'm fascinated by the rainbow stripe down the side.
Yeah, well, maybe
Yeah.
we're supporting Pride Week. We don't know.
we're the color's a little bit Cavaliers, like just like slightly hinting at the Cavaliers, which I don't like, but everything else I like about it.
So
Very
that's
little.
us.
It's
like
not the
that.
colors the Cavaliers should be. They should be different colors.
That's true.
They should go back to their old colors.
No, I agree with that.
Let's quickly go around the league to see what we're up against because there are other things going on here. So, like, most of the teams look like the Clippers, where it's essentially the all-time base with them leveled up even further to where, 97 is like a really good player, a 98's a multiple-time all-star, a 99, starts to be top 75 of all time territory. And just like last year, there are people that are secretly above a 99. There's like, I think, a 106 Jordan in here somewhere. Like, there's some beef in here.
So they couldn't get Chris Paul. Is that just because he's not in a Clippers jersey in his?
That's right,
Okay.
because he's no longer there anymore.
Yeah. All right.
And I guess the all-time team, I think this, no, it had to have been all-time Chris Paul that this is based on. So I'm not sure why they didn't have an old photo of him. They probably did, and it got confused in the new
Yeah, you're
roster.
saying you want them to go pull old photos of guys who used to play on those teams and like license those old photos?
Yeah, I mean that would take at least a day's worth of effort.
I mean, holy
so-
shit, man! How you know how tough that would be?
Exactly.
So our goal with these, like last year, is a sort of NBA Jam approach where we hope to have at least 2 players from the current team, if they're good enough, Pistons, and also then some all-time players in the mix. And I went Elton Brand over Blake Griffin this year because I just felt like it was a better fit. And Bob McAdoo is here. He's really good.
Elton Brand's a better
I like
player
that
than
you're like
Blake
helping
Griffin.
them a little bit. Like you're helping to make them slightly better for today's NBA.
Yeah, I want these teams to, for the most part, reflect the modern NBA so they don't play like shit when we play them.
Look,
And
I know how Cody felt. I have rarely had as much fun as I did when we were trying to overcome Milwaukee. So like I'm all for it.
yeah, and the better these opponents are, the better we can be. That's why like 3 of us are 99s now. In the old days, when like in that example we just saw with the one from 2013, I think we were like 90 overall because we were playing regular ass NBA teams. So now we can be as good as we can be because the league is also going to be tough.
Yeah.
So we won't spend a ton of time on all of these. The Grizzlies at least have Morant and Bane. Does Desmond Bane really belong here? No, but it's the fucking Grizzlies. What else am I going to do?
God, his arms are so
AJJ,
weird.
man.
His arms are so strange. I'm sorry.
I know they're really strange. He looks like a baby.
How many years did Mike Bibby play for the Grizzlies?
Well, he was
A
the
while.
original.
Oh.
He probably at least 3. I think
he was on
drafted
Vancouver.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
remember this is real slim pickings, and the
Yeah.
bench also has like a mix of current players and all-time current players that are
Oh.
leveled up. Like Jaren Jackson Jr. is not a 90, but the bench is around that level to try and hang, so that if they come in, it's a step down from the starters, but they're not like getting played off the court.
Okay.
And Marcus Smart, long
Yeah.
time
Smart.
Grizzly. Marcus
I only went
Smart is
10
smart.
deep, so there's some weirdness in here. Our bench has like Seth Curry on it because they made me fill in slots. So these players don't actually matter, but they're just there. It's really just 10 deep because if you get in the situation where both players get in foul trouble, I don't know what the fuck we've done as a society. Like if the bench player also runs into 6 fouls, then fuck it. Play a 60 overall. That's your fault.
Was Bibby on Memphis when we swept them in like 2005?
Maybe.
No, he was already on the Kings by then.
Who
He
was?
had to be a
Okay.
king at that point because of the Lakers King stuff.
But that was after that though.
That
Or
was
he
2001.
It was a couple
on?
years before, but he had to
Oh,
still
okay.
be a king after that.
So we
right?
essentially get a hybrid of the grit and grind with the 2 modern guys. The Hawks are still better than they probably should be because Bob Pettit, who is a former MVP,
Petit.
is really good in the modern NBA at power forward. And of course, Dominique was really solid, and Trey makes perfect sense in this modern NBA because he can just jack up deep threes.
Yeah.
And Dikembe's the anchor. We have several teams like this where there's like one good defensive player and then 4 offensive studs.
Where's Pistol Pete on the Hawks?
He's on a different team now because he played for other teams longer, like the Jazz. So he's on the Jazz.
on the fucking
and I think
Hawks,
he's on one
okay.
other team now, too.
He's on the
but-
Lime Green Hawks as well.
Oh God, now we're making the
He's
Jazz
here.
even better.
Yeah, here we go.
The fucking axis of evil.
Yeah. We have the Heat with some lineup choices that were difficult because do you put Shaq here? Well, not prime Shaq by any means. And like Zoe is a top 75 type caliber player. And then like Bam is kind of a weird power forward, but he's got the jumper and the ball handling skills to do it. So this is the lineup that we've settled on because Tim Hardaway at point guard was one of the worst players in the league last year. So I said, fuck it, let's put LeBron at point guard.
LeBron's a fine point guard. So, and look at those eyes. Whew.
Have fun, Shaun.
What about Mario Chalmers? You know when
I don't think he's here. I don't think he was good enough. No, but Duncan Robinson made it because he's a current player. And Kevin Love is looking constipated. The Charlotte Hornets are fucking terrible. But
Yeah.
in this league, no one is really that bad because the floor has been raised so much.
Wait, how did we get Larry? Is that random or did he actually spend time with the Hornets?
Larry Johnson?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
Where
his
he was
whole...
the whole time.
His
Yeah.
whole career.
But Larry Johnson was on New York.
Well, he was later, towards the
Oh,
end of his
okay.
career.
Most of his careers.
But his prime was here, paired up with Alonzo Mourning when he was also young.
fuck are you talking
I
about?
didn't know that. I only know Larry Johnson from New York when they went to the
I-
finals.
I had forgotten he was on New York entirely. Like that didn't
Oh.
even cross my mind. He is a Hornet. Like if you ask me, what team did Larry Johnson play for? Grandmama Hornets.
Interesting.
He's all they've got. Let him have this. Because he's not even that good. The Jazz, there's Pistol Pete, and let me tell you, he is a problem. Because,
Yeah, I'm
spoiler alert,
Have fun, Cody.
the Jazz are the first team on the schedule, so they're the team I've played the most, and he's a pain in the ass.
I don't want to play him right now.
Because before, it was Malone, who is still MVP caliber. He won it once, thankfully, not half the time like he did last year. And, of course, Stockton can be a thorn in our side, but Pistol Pete is a pain.
Yeah.
He's a good fucking basketball player. Well, scoring.
He's a great basketball player.
Yeah, offensively.
Those jerseys though are F-, man.
They're awful. I
What?
switched them
because
every
they look
game.
like a rec league gave them to them.
Yeah, they're one of the worst jerseys in the league.
Who's on the bench? Can we find any more like hillbillies to join
Yeah,
the
Mark
Jazz along
Yeah.
with Malone and Stockton?
Karolinko's
Kessler,
white,
maybe?
albeit European. Walker Kessler's there from the current one. You know, they've got a lot of white players like they should in Utah.
No, I don't even mean white. Like because Karl Malone does that's some hillbilly shit too. With what did he
Yeah.
do? Some kind of weird underage kid stuff.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
Nope. Move on.
You
The
know,
Kings
sure.
are also generally
What
probably
do you mean?
they're punching above their weight. But again, in the attempt to get 2 players in here, well, we have the 2 pseudo all-stars in
The
Fox
Kings-
and Sabonis.
The Kings matter so little. They only have 3 rivals. Everybody else has like fucking 5. But the
Yeah,
Kings-
and the rivals are kind of messed up too because of the weird league setup. Because there's
Oh,
now
God, I
there
can't
are
believe this is a
now
fucking
36
NBA
teams in the
franchise.
league. The Knicks have a surprisingly good Jalen Brunson, who might be like a top 15-ish player right now. Like he's ascending, and they just lost Julius Randle now for the year, but still,
There's gonna be some defensive problems in there.
there are maybe some defensive problems that I'm highlighting currently. Yes,
Oh, what about Stoudemire? He gonna make it on New York?
he could not.
Look
Okay.
at how beautiful they are.
Here are the Seattle Supersonics. They are not in the game, but they are now. They're one of the expansion teams, and they have a Supersonic specific roster because the Thunder have their own roster.
Cool.
This team is not very good.
He has to say, which means they're not very good.
Unfortunately, you can see like, oh yeah, like Dennis Johnson underrated, like 4 shooters. They can't defend.
Chris, are you gonna fuck up Detlef Schrempf just like
I don't
like-
know.
endlessly? Because I feel like you're
Maybe.
gonna fuck him up.
I might.
I feel like Detlef Schrempf was a decent enough shooter that he could have held his own. I guess he has no quickness. That's
He
part
feels
of the
like
problem.
Hedu Turkoglu before Hedu Turkoglu.
Sure.
But
Yeah, that's fair.
Nonsense name, big foreign
And
white guy. Same
as
thing.
always, we are legally required to compare white people to white people.
Exactly.
Here are the Los Angeles Lakers with 599s.
Oh God.
A little bit of a reach on AD, I will admit, but it's not really when you consider he's like a 10-time All-Star. So, yeah, the Lakers, unsurprisingly, are quite good. Because
does
they
the
also,
power
if they
make
ever get in trouble, they have a bench full of really high-rated players because these are also all-time greats.
And D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah.
And D'Angelo Russell. Because they needed to have another modern
All-time
player.
greats and D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah. So we know what this team's about. We're not surprised by any of these people because, again, we leaned modern. So, like, is Kareem better than Shaq? Y'all can fight it out in the comments, but I grew up with Shaq.
Green's better
So
than Shaq.
Oh, this is new.
Oh boy. Oh my.
Wow.
Was this an expansion team?
Action City.
This is one of our expansion teams.
Okay.
There's so many people to hate on this team.
It will not
Wow.
surprise you that this team is good.
To be fair, I
Oh,
only
really?
really hate 2 of them. Who do you hate?
Gambling addict. I don't like Larry Bird.
Oh.
Charles was fine. Child molester.
Yeah.
Vax denier. I don't. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, those were the 2 that I was talking about. But yeah, Magic
I mean, like
Johnson.
Michael Jordan might have gotten his dad killed when he was for his gambling debts. So I don't know. I'm just saying.
Magic's cool.
And why is Magic at 98? Because at this stage, he was already kind of like falling apart.
Oh,
So
okay.
Oh,
That's why he's not a
I'm
99.
not going to say what word I was going to say.
He
I was
didn't
gonna say
also
something really bad.
He didn't really play a ton for the Dream Team
What could
either.
that be,
I'm not going
Cody?
to say it.
All right. Cool. Well, expand. Oh,
This is a new team.
Oh dear.
Oh my.
So they had the wrong jerseys
So
because
one-
there's a limit to how many downloaded jerseys you can have.
Yeah. So 1 and 2, the entire Space Jam
Yes.
The
filmography.
entire Space
Yes.
Jam expanded universe.
Even though we
Man.
really would like to delete the second movie
Yeah.
from our brains.
But can you get Diana Taurasi on the bench? That's my only question.
I did not try to because I
Damn
would have had to make her from scratch.
Oh, okay, I wasn't sure if you could get a WNBA player. I think they've had the rosters on there, but
They do, but you can't pull the DNA from them like I can other NBA players. So I can't pull either
Gotcha.
appearance or from It makes sense. I also can't do it with the G League, which is in the game. The rosters are always in the way when I'm trying to make them, but I can't actually use them.
that's
So
too bad.
this is really just an excuse to put Jordan James and Barkley on the same team.
I like the idea that like the NBA has gotten so corporatized that they're like, yeah, we're just gonna make like a fun, like we're gonna pull into the movies. We're releasing Space Jam 3 soon, so we're just gonna have a roster of the other Space Jam movies.
Even though they weren't on the Toon Squad, they were all on the. Well, I don't even know what the
get,
second movie
get
was.
that
Squad.
Marvel movie synergy.
The Atlanta Magic kind of suck.
Well, yeah, after those 2 teams,
You
too.
should make the case that maybe Dwight's a 98. I don't know. I went back and forth on it, but
yeah, it's fine.
they're fine. And I wanted to put Bankero in there so they at least had one player.
Banchero.
He's at least been playing really well the second half of the season, so it's a reach, but I'm like, he'll probably be really good.
His name's Banchero.
Bam bench.
The Mavs are the same, which is to say they score a ton and they can't defend for shit because
Sounds right.
this lineup has so much firepower offensively. It's kind of
The
scary.
power fatties at power forward. That's good.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it just made the most sense when you consider the other players I needed to bring in, right?
That is a good shooting team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they usually lead the league in threes, unsurprisingly, because they're 4 and 5 shoot a bunch.
They
So-
can't- how do they defend?
They don't. It's really bad. They're
Yeah,
usually,
like this is like the 170, 180 game we're gonna have.
yeah, they're like bottom 3 defensively in most of the sims I ran, so
Okay.
it's exactly what you would expect.
All right.
Brooklyn Nets suck. But I will
Jason Kidd.
say, yeah,
Jason
Jason Kidd looks
Kidd.
scared.
Really trying to look at something in the distance.
Yeah, I can't see it. Needs bifocals. They're not terrible, to be clear.
Wow,
because
Drazen.
Dr. J is really good, and Durant obviously. This is why I went a different direction this year because I didn't want to put in like I don't know Nick Claxton when it's like what if we put Durant at the 5 and see how that goes. So they're a little undersized, but they can at least compete.
Was Drazen on the Nets team before?
Who? Petrovic?
Dragic.
No, I don't think he was, but he really should have been.
Yeah, I was like, I don't feel like I've ever seen him in the game before. That's actually a nice touch.
Yeah, for him, I was like, that's one of the all-time underrated guys. Obviously, we know what happened to his career being cut short, but
Wait, you're missing like the big Denver Nugget. Oh God, what's his name?
Ronaldo
Allen
Balkman.
Iverson?
No.
Ronaldo
Kiki Vandeweghe.
The guy who dunked it a lot was like a '90s player.
Oh,
Kenyon
J.R. Smith?
Martin?
No.
Dikembe Mutombo.
Kenyon Martin.
well, no one can. He was on the Suns for like 2 minutes.
Antonio McDyess.
Oh,
Antonio
McDyess.
McDyess.
Okay.
Where's
Yeah, but
Antonio
again,
McDyess?
But again, modern NBA.
Yeah, he
Power
probably
forwards,
sucks, even
power
then.
forwards like McDyess do not do well in this game.
No.
It's also why Shaun Kemp is the center for the Sonics. Like it just does not work because if you put 2 bigs that can't shoot on the floor together, we beat the shit out of those
Furious
teams.
shaking.
And yet there is one team that has done that. We'll get there.
Okay.
So nothing really surprising here. Again, these guys are very, very good
Rockets.
all-time players. So we're gonna give them a whirl.
Tall guys.
The Pacers kind of suck, but at least they have Reggie Miller now.
And
And
Tyrese.
again,
Wow.
we've gone small ball, which is why Pascal Siakam's been there for 3 months.
But
But
what about Roy Hibbert?
Why
Yeah.
does Reggie Miller look like the thing from the Lord of the Rings? That likes
I mean,
Go.
look,
What?
these are downloaded players. That's why him and Chuck don't look great.
I
but
mean,
at least they're
seriously,
here.
tell me he's not saying my precious.
The Pelicans, with two modern players, you get to fill out these spots, and then they still have some decent surrounding casts. This backcourt is surprisingly dynamic. So there's some good defenders. There's some offensive threats. They're decent.
The continuity, the New Orleans and the Charlotte thing, it's so fucking confusing to understand which one's which.
So I tried to do something weird with the Pistons, and I will tell you from the Sims, it hasn't really worked. This is the only team where I was like, what if they were just more about their defense? And so we played these two together. Now, Robin did shoot threes towards the end of his career, so he can do it a little. This doesn't really work. I tried. It didn't work. The problem with the Pistons is they have all bigs and point guards. Like, Chauncey Billups is not here. Where the fuck am I going to play Chauncey Billups? Small forward?
Yeah.
I'm going to put Chauncey Billups on in favor of one of these two who are better than him. So I did what I could. It's
What
bad.
about Torian Prince?
Yeah. He's actually not in the game.
Hamilton, man.
Oh,
And you're thinking Tayshaun, but
I am thinking Tayshaun.
Tayshaun Prince is not in the game. I tried because he should have been on the bench for another team that's coming up, but he doesn't exist.
I wonder what the deal with that is.
The Raptors have these two because they were there forever, and they have Scotty Barnes because everybody loves him even though he's overrated. And so this team is actually surprisingly potent because they go 5 out, and it matches the modern NBA.
Do you think 20 years from now people are going to forget that Kawhi was on the Raptors?
Yes.
No,
Okay.
only
Yes, I
because he won the title.
No, I'll forget.
And I think the 6 bounce shot to beat the Sixers is still going to be etched in people's heads.
Yeah.
Otherwise, 100%.
Also, that uniform is awful.
Oh, it's terrible.
Why is the T the highest letter?
Here are the Rockets with prime James Harden because he was the MVP there.
Yeah,
And
that's fair.
the hard part about this is Moses Malone is probably one of the 30 best players of all time. So I'm always torn because Yao Ming is obviously on the Rockets and is fun to play against. But I'm like, it's fucking Moses Malone. He's a 3-time MVP.
Yeah.
I think you should put Olajuwon at small forward, and then put Yao at power forward.
It won't work, but we could try it.
I think
If the Pistons don't work, that sure as fuck won't work.
Push off Tracy McGrady and just have Hakeem, Yao, and Moses Malone.
Yeah.
Nice.
We could push off fucking Clyde Drexler because this is very much subprime Clyde.
Oh, that's fair.
I mean, that is 70-year-old
because the Blazers will have him coming up here.
Okay.
The Spurs are fun because of this.
Yeah, just do that with the Rocket.
Yeah.
The difference is like
Wembanyama can actually do this.
you could make Olajuwon a 3-point shooter because he shot the mid range and you just like sort of scale him up. But this team is already sort of suited for it and defensively kind of scary.
Yeah, that's some length. That's some real length on that team. Good lord.
And they have Tony Parker.
Well, I mean, that's like, what, 2 exceptional defenders? 3 exceptional defenders and 4 exceptional defenders?
And Tony Parker.
And then Tony Parker?
Yeah, I'm like,
Holy shit. Yeah, I was dismissing Wembanyama because he's a rookie, but I'm like, no, he's setting some
I was like, I think we've already
good marks.
he
Yeah,
might
we
win
already
Defensive
proven
Player
that,
of the Year.
that
Yeah.
that's the one thing he definitely can do.
Yeah.
The Suns are what you would expect, given that Charles Barkley exists now, sort of.
Man,
Off-brand
kicking
Chuck.
Marion to the curb hurts a little bit, but I get it.
I love you.
I know.
Yeah.
You went from 0 Chucks to 5 Chucks, basically.
And we don't even have one anymore.
I know.
So that's at least good. So there's Amari. I mean, he was his best with us. He had 1.5 really good seasons in New York, but so this team also very good offensively, still not great defensively.
Man, the problem is you would want to almost consider pushing Durant for Marion, but like then they get so much worse.
I know.
Don't do that.
Oh, yeah. You can.
So
Yeah, fuck
You can see why I did it. It's sad. Like there he is over there, looking
Yeah.
sad himself. And like our bench is what you like. The KJ's there, Marley, whatever. But Beal's hiding. Nurkic doesn't look like himself. It's
at
not a big
all,
deal.
Not even a little
Nurkic
bit.
kind of looks like Dave.
Yeah.
So the
Nurkic's
Thunder,
more like Dave than Dave does.
the Thunder are only the Thunder. I mean,
Okay.
Durant. The question with Durant was, of course, he was a Sonic for 1 season, but I felt like, no, he's already on enough teams anyways, and it makes more sense to have him here. So we get the bench version of James Harden, which is why he's not as good as the younger one, who was just starting to blossom before the trade. And we get MVP Russ and MVP KD.
God, that's probably a pretty good team though.
It surprisingly works pretty well, even though
Yeah.
Chet in this league is not great, but he still fills the 5 slot really well. This
And-
team is usually top 5 in the West.
Yeah, I mean Shy, and then you have those other guys.
Yeah.
Their rival should be Seattle.
Yeah.
Kevin Garnett is scared,
Uh-huh.
but this is the Timberwolves who still have Sam Cassell at point because the guards for the Timberwolves are fucking dog water.
Ricky Rubio.
I
Gugliotta.
looked at it. He's on the roster, I think, because I couldn't take him off.
Rubio.
There he
I
is.
miss Gugliotta.
But the problem is, of course, the bigs make it so that Gobert can't really play. And he wasn't on the Jazz either, so there's no Gobert in this league, which I recognize sucks. But again, who am I taking off for Gobert here?
Wait, Gobert's not in this league?
He's on the bench on 2 teams.
Okay. Sorry.
But he's not a starter, even though I think you could. But, like, who am I booting off for Rudy Gobert here?
Yeah.
None of them.
Yeah, especially that Love.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is prime Kevin Love, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
Prime Kevin Love's pretty fucking
Just
good.
like with the Raptors and Chris Bosh, like he had huge individual numbers and then fit into a third man slot later on.
Yeah.
Trailblazers are They at least have Brandon Roy spelled correctly in this year's roster. It was Braden last year. So whoever did the roster
It'd be
fucked
funny if
that
they
up.
did ROI.
And,
as his last name.
Oh, wow. Wow.
95, huh?
Now you're like, why? And it's like, I just wanted to see him suffer.
You didn't want to do like Aldridge at power forward and
Oh,
Walton
I'm
at center?
100% that should have been the way it should have gone, was him
Okay.
at power forward and Walton at center.
Okay.
He's
But-
dominating.
I was also trying to have at least one modern player on every team. I didn't always succeed.
I think Bill Walton won't leave our lives. He's still a modern player to me because I just
Okay.
have to deal with him all the time.
So yes, LaMarcus Aldridge should be in this lineup, but let's be honest, the front court of him and Walton not very good for the modern NBA
No.
because neither one of them can shoot. Walton's a very good player and a good passer, but he can't shoot.
Ricky Rubio looked exactly like Jake Gyllenhaal, by the way.
He did.
He
He actually did.
Yeah. The Warriors are good. You're not surprised by that, and it's because I think they went to another step because I got rid of Clay.
Good.
Okay.
Because Rick Barry is better than Clay.
Just
Yeah.
like real
Rick
life,
Barry's
you
a
benched
thorn in our-
Clay.
Rick Barry's been a thorn in our
Just like in-
sides every time we play him.
Just
Yeah.
like in real life, Clay is washed out of this league.
Yes. So this was not even really that tough of a decision for me because they still have Steph. They only have one modern player technically, but like Draymond's not cracking this fucking lineup, and Clay's washed.
They'll bring
so,
Draymond in to kick someone in the balls, and then they'll send him back out. It's fine. What a
Yeah,
great
he,
asset to
he
have
is
off
on the bench along with Nate Thurman's massive
Wait,
bald
so-
spot.
But was Draymond better than Chris Mullen, though?
No.
No.
Okay. I don't remember. I don't-
Especially because, as you've noticed, I'm generally going offense over defense.
Yeah. Okay.
For the Wizards, Elvin Hayes and Wes Unseld are both underrated players, but this team sucks because
Mhm.
at least Arenas is actually pretty good in this Chuckers league, so that's fun. But
I'm happy, but also sad that you don't have 42-year-old Michael Jordan on this team.
yeah, he's on enough teams already.
God, Gilbert Arenas has some bad takes on his podcast.
Yes, he sure does. Like Jokic being the most overrated MVP. This is the
That's
76ers.
Exactly the one I just saw. Yeah.
You want to
Yep.
take the word of the guy who almost got shot by his teammate? I mean, I'm assuming he opens his mouth too much. So
Yeah.
76ers are big. They got Dr. J at shooting guard, but this team is
Wow.
generally top 4 in the East.
that
Wow.
that version of Chuck, the way they like created that, actually looks pretty good.
It's not bad. And he's got hair like he did back when he
like
was a
that
younger
actually
player.
to me looks like the really because I don't think the young Barkley looks anything like chubby normal. Like
I mean,
current
he
Barkley.
also looks like a bodybuilder, so it's a
Yeah, he's
little
built.
too much muscle.
He's too ripped, but I just mean like actually in the face, he looks more like young Chuck than the old Chucks look like old
Mhm.
Chuck.
Yeah.
Yep, I
It's
agree.
like, could you put Tyrese Maxey here and split? Yeah, but Dr. J was Philly. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Here's a new team.
Las Vegas Venom, huh?
So this team is the leftovers. These are all players that did not make it onto another roster, including never once MVP because the award was created the year after he retired, George Mikan, who was, believe it or not, All-NBA existed in the late 40s, and he was a 4-time in a row All-NBA first-team player, but MVP was started in 53, and that was like right after his last season.
so many white people.
George Mikan is really good and looks like the guy from Metal Gear, Senator Armstrong,
Oh yeah. Yep. Now, why Venom?
because I thought it was cool.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if there was some sort of Easter egg or just.
Now I was like, well, what makes sense to expand? Well, obviously Seattle. We're going to Hawaii. Well, there's going to be a team in Vegas. This was
Yep.
the cool logo I found, so sure.
You should have
Nice.
given Kansas City or St. Louis a team. How dare you?
Wait,
Okay.
so how does this team do?
They
in
had
The
their
Sims?
chance.
I imagine not good.
This team is really good, and I don't know why, but it's part of why I did it because I wanted to see how it would go. They're
I-
usually top 5 or 6.
I love that. They're like the replacements.
Well,
Kind
they're
of. So
the
they
only
got a
team
chip
in
on
the-
their shoulder.
they're the only team in the league that has 4 white starters.
That's
I'm-
maybe true.
I'm rooting for them, except not over us.
Yeah, but they're in the East, so it's okay. Why is Vegas in the East? Shut
Oh my
up.
God, it really is like a lot of.
Like, Pau Gasol's on this team because he can't make it anywhere else.
You see more white people. You see
But
all
but
that?
wait,
Wow,
what do
he
you
can't
mean?
make it on
I'm sorry,
Memphis.
can't make it anywhere else just because like if you look at the all time, he just like doesn't fit. and-
Pau's not going to break the all-time Lakers.
right.
Yep.
No.
He's
Yeah,
on.
that-
He's
that's- I guess
he's
that's what I'm
listed for
clarifying.
Memphis, but
Okay.
and last year Marc Gasol wasn't in the game, so he actually was on the all-time
Yeah.
Memphis team because I was like, well, here's a Gasol at least, fine.
Okay.
But now that Mark's
who
back,
ended up having a better Memphis-length career? Is it
Like-
Pau or is it Mark? It's got to be Mark.
we talked about Tim Hardaway getting booted, like Tom
Yeah.
Chambers,
Oh,
Rajon Rondo can't crack the
God.
Celtics, who we haven't seen yet, but you'll know why when we get there.
That makes
So,
sense.
and he just retired. So, anyways, this team surprisingly good in part because he can shoot. So and Dave Cowens is really good.
I do like the 1950s looking jerseys.
I think
go
Dave
with all
Cowens
the
is a
white
2-time
people.
MVP. So like their front court is quite strong. The Bucks, I left alone. So they're exactly what they were last time.
Okay.
Good. So we
Because-
can get them. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
piss us off again.
Sure.
So they'll kill us. Awesome.
This is new.
Oh, cute.
Their jerseys
I
broke.
I was really hoping they'd be here.
The Toon Squad ended up with their jerseys. I don't know how or why that happened, but I gave up trying to fix it because every time I'd re-download one, another one would disappear. So I said, fuck it. As long as ours work, that's enough. But
I like the Dream Team versus the Redeem Team. Like if the
Mhm.
Redeem Team wins, what does that mean?
It's what happened in Game of Thrones, if you remember, or Game of Zones. Sorry, and it was great because the Redeem Team won, and it was like, are you sure though? Because Jordan was really good. It's like but they won.
now I
was
will
great.
apologize in advance because I believe maybe not shooting guard. There's a LeBron in almost every position in this league, except maybe power forward. So like Dave gets to deal with this LeBron, but LeBron's also a point guard for the Heat, so that's Shaun's responsibility.
We all get to deal with it.
Great.
We'll see what happens.
Excellent.
The Bulls,
Oh,
they go
God.
4 out with Dennis Rodman in the center.
Curtis
Yeah,
Gilmore
that's right.
is gigantic.
He is, and you could make a case for Gilmore over Rodman, especially for the time that Rodman was in Chicago was not his prime. But it's the Bulls, man. I want Rodman on there.
Yeah.
So this team is also generally quite good
I
because
forgot Jimmy Butler played for
Derrick
the Bulls.
Rose. You know what though? I feel like this is an example of a team that like seems like they'd be pretty good and then won't at the end perform all that well.
in years past the Bulls have struggled in the Sims, but this year they're usually pretty good.
I mean, they have better shooting now. Like you have
Look
Butler
at this
and
team. It's
yeah.
a really good team.
you would think
And
so, yeah.
Unsurprisingly, just like with God, who was it? Where we said the point guard was the weak link. There was a team that had these 4 that were all the Spurs, just like the Spurs. Like these
Oh,
are all
yeah.
4 excellent defenders.
Yeah.
So they make their mark on that side of the ball.
I don't want to play against Michael Jordan.
The Cavs, I had to stretch to put Donovan Mitchell at small forward, but again, like this is the backcourt, so
Oh, there's LeBron at power forward. we
Yep.
got
So I
ball
did it.
covered.
I was equal opportunity LeBron, and this team also is generally usually in the playoffs because look at
I
him.
mean, LeBron's like probably that secret 106 to Jordan's 107, right?
He's
Yeah,
like a
right.
105 or so, yeah,
Yeah.
because it's basically prime LeBron. The Celtics are about what you'd expect. The trick here is no Jaylen Brown, but again, when you look at these other options,
Yeah.
Did
I'm not putting Jaylen Brown over Larry Bird. Sorry.
Did Paul Pierce shit himself right there?
he is. He's holding his ass until
Well,
the
yeah, he's
wheelchair
holding
comes.
his-
Exactly.
butt. Yeah.
He looks like he's holding his ass.
Yeah, but he doesn't
Don't
want you to
look.
know.
Don't look.
So, like, Kevin McHale can't crack this lineup. Sorry, Kevin, but, what am I going to do?
There's
And
enough
that's
Kevins
it.
in the league. It's fine.
Nice.
So the last thing we need to do then is my proposal. Our season starts against the Jazz, as I mentioned. We're at home on our beautiful home arena, making them travel to 3-hour time zone difference. My pitch for this season is that we play every team once.
That
Yeah.
sounds fine.
We ended up playing almost that many games last year anyways. It's not even that much more of an undertaking. I think it'll represent like 4 or 5 more games in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
But the goal is basically to play every team once. And I think the best way to do that is just the first time we encounter them so we're not having to remember like, oh God, like
Mhm.
so we'll play them home or on the road. And then if we want to play a team again because they beat us, because it's close, because it was fun, whatever, we can do that. But we play every team once and then the playoffs fall where they may.
All right.
And the playoffs, for those who didn't see last time, will be the same where we're just going to play any elimination games. So we'll sim until one team has gotten to 3 or 2 in the first round, wins. And if we're down 3-1, we got to win 3 straight or the season's over. If we're up 3-1, we got to close them out ourselves. We're going to do the same thing this year because I thought that was fun last year.
Yeah, that was good. This is the same game, right?
No,
We
it's
just-
2K24. So,
Holy fuck.
yeah.
Mhm.
And
So,
you're going to...
so there's going to be a learning curve again then.
Yes, there is. And
Fuck.
this is very hard to defend in, which is good.
Great.
In the sense that we like the offensive basketball more. We don't want the slugfest with the all-time Celtics we used to have. But bad in the sense that it took me about 10 games to figure out defense.
So
And
Pistol
I'm
Pete's
already-
about to score 40 on me.
Yeah, and I'm much worse than you at defense just in general. So like
Well, I don't
Yikes.
want Pistol
Yep.
Pete
like
to do that.
2K defense for me, I never have understood.
I don't want Pistol Pete to do that to me.
Well,
Well,
he's going to do it to you.
we're gonna
I
get-
will assure you, having played this team like 6 times in the course of practicing and testing, he's going to fuck you up.
I don't want to get fucked up. Right
I
away.
mean, I don't want to get fucked by LeBron when that time comes, but it's going to happen.
The nice thing
You know-
is that I like Pistol Pete a lot, so
Cody,
I can take it.
We were both bad at 2K defense before. Maybe now something will just like click. maybe we were doing a thing that's going to translate really well into 2K24.
So the next time you see
Why?
us, the season will be starting, and we'll see how this all goes.
Copium to believe that that's going to happen.
Maybe.